Hey there, YouTubers. Kitten Hoarder here, and you're watching Session Report, the show that takes you to the gamer's table to share in the surprises that come out during play. And today we're going to be playing another game of Darkest Night. As I am recording this, the Kickstarter campaign for Darkest Night 2nd Edition is it's got about 8 days remaining. Probably by the time this video goes up, there will be fewer days than that, almost assuredly. Because I don't think I'm going to get it up today. But in any case, I wanted to record another video. I said I was going to, using some of the additional game elements introduced in the expansions. And now, I did want to mention the Kickstarter campaign briefly, because they have completely revamped it when they relaunched it. I think I mentioned this while recording my previous video. They put it up, took it down. They were going to rejigger it, basically, put some changes into it, listen to feedback, and put it back up. And man, did they listen. The new campaign looks awesome. I wish I could back it. The only reason I'm not is because I just can't get the money together right now. But there are many things that cause me to highly recommend you to back it. First of all, they completely redid the visuals, so it's more in line with the style of the original, even though there are still many visual tweaks. You've got a greater presence of these icons, the iconography that I think is really goes toward defining the characters. The miniatures are no longer standard. Now the miniatures are extra, and you can get just character standees, but larger ones and more detailed ones with the regular game if you don't pay for the extra miniatures. Everything is now included, so you don't have to pay extra for expansions. All of the expansion content is included in the 2nd edition box. And in addition, they're adding new content, and they have recently unlocked all of the stretch goals that add gameplay elements. So you are getting everything that they had possibly had planned for gameplay for the 2nd edition if you back it. And the final reason that you should back it is because of the demand and the, I guess, high cost of the 2nd edition, because it includes everything. They're making a very limited print run, so it's essentially becoming a limited edition kind of thing. They're not going to be printing enough to sell it at retail. So if you have any interest in this game, I highly recommend you go on Kickstarter, back the 2nd edition. If you are like me and you're a 1st edition owner, you might still want to back it, because there's a lot of cool stuff being added. But I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they make good on that promise that they were going to add the new gameplay elements in a 2nd edition or in a 1st edition upgrade kit later on. But in any case, let's get into the game. Okay, so first of all, let me talk about the new gameplay elements I'm adding. So first one, Darkness cards. This is from the From the Abyss expansion. And what the darkness cards do is they add a negative effect. Normally when the darkness reaches 10 and 20, you get negative effects that are printed on the board. These supersede that. And there's various difficulty levels that you can play with. I'm going to be playing with, I guess, the most non-intrusive difficulty level, where it's just at 10 and 20. You get a random negative effect instead of the ones printed on the board. You can also play with at 5, 10, 15, and 20. Or you could play with darkness cards plus the effects printed on the board. But I'm just going to be playing with just the ones at 10 and 20. I might do the 5, 10, 15, 20. That sounds really difficult, though. I'm not sure yet. I think since I'm playing with extra blights, I think I'm just going to go with the 10 and 20 for now. Mystery cards. Mystery cards are added in the newest expansion, which is in Tales of Old. And what they add is, instead of finding keys, you now find mystery cards. And mystery cards give you opportunities to gain what's called clues. If you get 10 clues, you can trade it in for 1 holy relic. So roughly the equivalent of 1 key is 3 clues. And most mystery cards give you at least the opportunity to get around that much. But it makes the game much more difficult based on my experience with these cards, mainly because you don't get these clues for free. Typically, drawing a mystery card might give you 1 or 2 clues for free, but then you have to actually do something to get the rest of the clues. And you get a benefit for it, but it's still additional actions that you need to take during the game. And finally, we're going to be playing with the quest cards. These are added in, I think it was even the first expansion, with an inner light. And the quest cards are new cards that basically give you additional things that need to be accomplished, and there's a time limit on them. And we're going to be playing with the more difficult version of the quest cards. There's the easy version, which is basically quests just come out due to events. There are maybe, I don't know, 20 events or something like that bring out quest cards. And then there's the more difficult version called the Pall of Suffering, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So the Pall of Suffering means when a quest expires, which means that every darkness phase we add a time token to it, an hourglass token. When there are a number of hourglass tokens equal to what's shown here, the quest expires. Normally, you get a one-time negative effect, and that's it. And there's still things you want to avoid. But with the Pall of Suffering, the expired quests get added to the Necromancer's sort of magical shroud. It's his Pall of Suffering. And that means that the more suffering that goes on around the kingdom because of you failing to address these events, the more powerful he becomes. Normally, when you defeat the Necromancer in combat, and there's no blights in the location, and you're holding a holy relic, you win. In this version, you have to defeat the Necromancer in combat, no blights in your location, holding a holy relic, and in addition, after defeating all of the blights, each time you defeat the Necromancer, you actually remove one of these cards from his Pall of Suffering. And only when his Pall of Suffering is completely empty do you actually win the game. So this is going to be making things much more difficult. In addition, quest cards come out more often in this version. In addition to coming out in the event, they also come out whenever the Necromancer rolls a 3 or 4 on his search roll. We get another quest card, and we start with a quest card in the village. So that's what this is right now. There's an Angry Guardian. Someone stole the treasure from the care of a local guardian spirit. Give it a new treasure to placate it. So I just need to go there and discard any item. The problem is we don't start with any items, and we have another really bad thing to worry about, this Desecration Blight up here in the mountains. And if you remember from before, the Desecration Blight means the darkness moves up twice every darkness phase instead of once. So that's something we need to take care of immediately. But let's take a look at who the characters are. Okay, so for this game, I'm going to be playing the Scout, the Exorcist, the Tinker, and the Enchanter. These last two, I believe, are promo heroes. The Exorcist comes from not in Tales of Old, but the one before it, from the Abyss expansion. And the Scout, you know what? I think she might come from one of the first 2 expansions. Yeah, it looks like she's on Shifting Winds. So none of the core game heroes in this one, but I think these are all going to be good heroes. Let's see what they do. The Scout commands an unmatched knowledge of the terrain and civilization of the kingdom allowing her to travel quickly and scrutinize the necromancer's forces unseen. While not much of a fighter, the information the scout gleans of the kingdom's enemies can multiply the efforts of her allies, while staying one step ahead of the undead. Alright, and her abilities are blind spots, cross-country, and treasure maps. Blind spots. Hide, raise the secrecy of one hero at your location to your current secrecy. That'll be really nice. Cross-country. Exhaust to move twice and gain 2 secrecy. Action for the treasure maps is activate in your location, then search. All heroes +1 die when searching there. So I think I'm going to send her, at least, to the village. Maybe along with another hero, so they can try and search for items to give to the Angry Guardian. The Exorcist. The Exorcist has made it his life's work to seek out and destroy evil. Though not adept at conventional forms of combat, he excels in spiritual battle, shielding himself with holy energies and casting out the darkness. With many tools for destroying blights and his self-renewing boons, he will not rest until the land has been purified. And he does seem like a pretty cool character. His abilities are Banish. Fight with 2 dice when attacking a blight or the necromancer. Reroll all 1s until there are not 1s. Cloister. One hero at your location gains 2 secrecy up to 7. Then all heroes at the location who have less secrecy may gain 1 secrecy up to 7. And we have Courageous Boon. At the start of your turn, make a single roll of 2 dice for all your boons. Activate if any die rolls a 5. And you can deactivate at the start of your turn for +1 die on all rolls that turn. So I'm going to send him up to try to deal with this Desecration Blight. The Tinker. The Tinker scorns traditional wisdom, determined to form his own understanding rather than rely on the teachings of others. Through constant experimentation, he gradually develops and refines his own tools, every one the first of its kind. Due to its unique origins, the Tinker's magic is not quite like any other in the world. So he's got some gadgets. The Surveyor gadget. Activate search with +1 die, but subtract 1 from each die. While it's active, +1 die when attacking blights, deactivate if you move. So I might send him over there as well. Darkening gadget. Activate, roll 2 dice. For each 2+ rolled, every hero at your location gains 1 secrecy, so a lot of secrecy spread out around these people, which is going to be good. I'll show you why in a second. When it's active, +2 dice in fights, deactivate if you lose secrecy. And Accelerator. Choose one of your gadgets, use its action effect twice, then deactivate and exhaust it. And then finally we have the Enchanter. The Enchanter is able to detect and manipulate the hidden energies of the world, drawing raw potential into people and objects. By carefully managing the power, she can bestow great advantages upon herself and her allies, but the wrong enchantment at the wrong time can have disastrous consequences, so the Enchanter must keep a tight hold on her spells to be effective. So, these are her abilities, and I'll show you why all this secrecy is good. After a fight roll, exhaust any of your powers, including this, to add 1 die to the roll. You may do this repeatedly, so she is definitely going to fight the Desecration. Deactivate all essences, optionally activate. When any hero loses or spends grace, if their secrecy is higher, they must spend secrecy instead. That's the good one. And then ride the Ether. Tactic, elude with 2 dice. Refresh one of your powers if you roll a 6. So far, this ability seems to be the really nice one, because all of the heroes have lower grace than they have secrecy. The Tinker's actually high on both of them. He's very good. But the majority of these have fairly low grace, 3 or 4. And fairly high secrecy. And they have a lot of abilities that give them additional secrecy. So if we can spend secrecy instead of grace, they could be almost invincible. I mean, not literally invincible, but pretty good. So I'm definitely planning on banking on that interaction. So let's get started. Okay, so on my first turn, there's really not a lot that I can do. Because none of my heroes have the ability to, like, for instance, move and then take an action. So we're all just moving. And I want to get everybody out there immediately instead of staying behind to activate some of these abilities, because we have two very time-sensitive things to deal with. So just gonna, everybody's turn is just gonna be moving. I think I mentioned the scout is going to the village. The tinker was going to the village, and the other two are going to the mountains. Now, the two that went to the village will then have to lose one secrecy for dealing with the spies. And that is everybody's turn. All right, so let's see what the necromancer does. Just to remind myself of the necromancer's turn. Increase the darkness by 1, +1 for each desecration, so that is 2 already. Roll 1 die. Whoa, very low. That's good. No new events come out. So he doesn't see anybody. He's going to go along the arrow for the 1, so he's going to the forest. That's very good. Then he spawns a blight in his new location. So in the forest, we now have a shroud, which is going to protect the other blights in that location. All right. Pretty lucky start. Oh, I forgot. One additional step is now add the time token. I'm not sure when that happens. I don't think it really matters. I think it is before the necromancer moves. So let's see. After raising the darkness, but before movement. Oh yeah, I'm good. All right, so let's try to deal with this desecration blight first. So, you know what? I didn't roll for the courageous boon last time. We're gonna have to roll for the courageous boon for the exorcist, and nothing. And then we're gonna roll for this turn. It was a 5, and then it fell off of that rule book. Oh my god. So no courageous boon this turn. So he's just going to attack that desecration blight. So he's going to lose a secrecy, and he's going to fight with 2 dice. Oh my god! And he failed, so penalty is no effect. That was not good. Not good. Alright, so it's the enchanter's turn. And the enchanter is going to fight with 1 die. Oh, you know what? And we get an event for the exorcist. So what is the order of things? I think it's start of turn, then event, then action. Okay. So draw a quest. All right, so we got a new quest coming out already. And this is for the exorcist's turn. So the quest is going to the castle. And tribute. An unusually savvy revenant has collected his own band of dead servants is demanding tribute from nearby farmers. Face him in combat. And we just need 1 success in a fight roll. Completed, we get an artifact. Expired, a new blade appears. Alright. Let's do the enchanter. So, start of her turn. I don't think anything. Dust Storm. Gain 2 secrecy, spend 1 grace, or lose a turn. Let's spend 1 grace. Can't afford to lose a turn. We've got to take care of that desecration blight. So she's going to spend 1 secrecy to attack it. She's going to attack with 1 and hopefully kill it. And she can re-roll up to 3 times. Oh my god! Okay, so she's going to exhaust one of her abilities. Yes, she's going to exhaust one of her powers to roll an additional die. There we go. Okay, so the desecration blight has been taken care of. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. Alright, so she's done. And now we have the Angry Guardian to take care of. So, let's see. In this location, no tactics can be used. So none of them have tactics, so that's good. So I think I will start with the scout, and she's going to activate the treasure maps in her location. Well, first she's going to draw an event. Ooh, randomly select one of your powers. So this is going to change things, actually. Randomly select one of your powers, spend 1 grace, or place the selected power at the bottom of its deck, and draw a card from the same deck. Oh, it's the treasure maps. I really want that treasure maps. So I'm going to spend the 1 grace. And now I'm going to use the treasure maps. Why couldn't it have been one of the other two? All heroes +1 die when searching here. So I'm going to search with 2 dice. At the village, I believe I need a 3 or better. So I have a greater than 50% chance per die. And I got 1 success. So what did I get? A treasure chest. And I think I will not do anything with it right now. And she will lose 1 secrecy for the spies. And that'll be her turn. I'll see if the Tinker gets something less useful before I decide if I want to give that up for the Angry Guardian. The Tinker, Desperate Bargain. Choose one. Destroy a Blight, or draw a power card, or raise... What? Ooh. Oh, those are all bad, though. Destroy a Blight, or draw a power card, or raise your secrecy to default, then spend 2 grace, or discard an item, or +1 darkness. Man, that's bad stuff. That's from the Inner Light expansion. Well, I think I'm going to spend 2 grace and draw a power card. An amplifier. Use one of your gadgets with +3 dice on the roll for its action. Oh, very nice. Okay. So I'm going to do that. Exhaust, to use my Surveyor gadget with +3 dice on the roll for its action. So I'm subtracting 1 from each die, but I'm searching with 1, 2, +3. So 5 dice. So I get my pick. Alright, so subtracting 1 from each of them, that means 2 successes. I get to draw 2 cards and pick one. Artifact or treasure chest? Ooh, artifact. I think I'm going to go for the artifact. So that means I will spend this treasure chest to placate the Angry Guardian. I got it from the scout, and I gave it up. I think you can do that. You could freely exchange items during your turn, as long as you're in the same location. And it is the Magic Mask, +1 die when eluding. I think I had that last game I played. Whatever. So the Angry Guardian has been placated. That means we've successfully completed this quest. So I'm going to just put it over here in a discard pile, not the Pile of Suffering. Oh, you know what? And I get +1 die for searching from the treasure maps. So actually I got 1 more that I could have looked at. And what else? Oh, and everyone gains 1 grace, because that's what the Guardian said. Alright, so that's that for, I believe, everybody's turn. Alright, so let's do the Necromancer's turn. First, the darkness increases 1. Then we get 1 time on the tribute quest. And then we roll. That was a 5. So it's 3 or 4, I believe, that causes a new quest to come out, doesn't it? Yeah. So with a 5, though, he can see anybody with a 4 or lower, which is nobody. So he's just going to follow with a 5 arrow. He's going back to the ruins. And he's going to spawn an Unholy Aura, which was -1 die when fighting. Alright, not bad. So everybody flips back up. And I think I'm going to give this magic mask to the scout for now. I think maybe the enchanter needs it in the long term, but I think the scout needs it more than the tinker. Nobody really needs it. It was a stupid thing. So now it seems like somebody needs to go over to the castle and deal with that tribute quest. We get another artifact for that. That'd be pretty nice. And we could start searching the castle, which is pretty default early game action because you get a lot of new abilities that way. So I think that's my plan. Okay, so I have a lot of options. I think the Exorcist is probably the one who's going to go deal with... What is the curse again? Lose 1 grace when you enter this location. Blech. I think he's probably going to be the one to deal with the tribute. Or maybe the enchanter will. At some point, the enchanter is going to want to use that Essence of Stone. And maybe even now. I think she's probably going to go first, and she's going to do that and just get that started. Oh, you know what? Ooh. Oh, this is bad. So the Exorcist and the Enchanter actually do not gain a grace from that last quest because they can't gain grace because of the taint. Alright, so she's going to get an event. Gain 1 grace. Nope. So she's going to have to just spend 2 secrecy. Blech. Got to get rid of that taint. Alright. And she's going to use her action to activate the Essence of Stone. And then, that's her turn, so. The Exorcist is then going to spend his turn moving, most likely. So what's his event? A horde. Compared to your secrecy, it's a small horde, so it's not a big deal. So he can... Oh, you know what? He gets to roll 2 dice, try to activate his boon. Nope. So he can't fight with 2 dice, because that's when attacking a Blight or the Necromancer. So he's not attacking, he's defending. So he's going to, in that case, try to elude with 1 die. He needs a 3. And he succeeds. Okay. And so for his action, he's going to move, which gives him, I guess, 1 secrecy up to 6, I believe. When you move. Oh. Hold on, it's on the other side of this wizard card. No, gain 1 secrecy up to 5. So he's already at 5, so he's not going to gain a secrecy, and in fact he's going to lose a secrecy for entering this location with the curse in it. And then he has to fight a vampire. So all in all, not a great turn, actually. He's going to try to fight. 1 die. Needs a 4 or better. And he succeeds. Alright. So that's not bad at all. So that was his turn. And then we have the Scout and the Tinker still. The Tinker is going to stay where he is and try to kill Blights. And I think he's going to try to kill the spies first, because that's causing everybody to lose secrecy. Which I don't think happened last time. I think I forgot to lose people's secrecy last turn, so I'm just going to do that now. Because it looks like it was lower than it should be. Or higher than it should be. Anyway, Tinker, let's have him go next. Patrols compared to the darkness. Well, the darkness is essentially nothing. So, alright, so 2 fight or 2 evade. Nothing doing, so we'll just try to fight it. And we succeeded. Well, okay. And then he is going to, as his action, he's going to attack the spies. He gets +1 die. And, oh, what is he? He needs a 5. Oh my god. Nope. He did not succeed. So that is lose 1 secrecy. And then he also loses 1 secrecy for being in the same location with the spies still. So that's not good. And then it's the scout's turn. Compare to secrecy. She's got 4, so it's a small horde. She can elude with 2 dice. And that was a success. So she has a couple options. She can hide and raise the secrecy of 1 hero at your location to your current secrecy. So she can hide and get him back up to 5. But none of her things are exhausted, so it seems like a bit of a waste to do that as her action. On the other hand, if she doesn't do it now, she's just going to keep losing secrecy. So I think it's maybe actually a good move right now. Probably not a good move, but it'll keep his secrecy high. So we're going to do it. We're going to hide. That means +1 secrecy. And we're going to raise the Tinker's secrecy up to 5 as well. Oh, yeah, she got the event. And then she loses 1 secrecy for being in the same location with the spies. And then we get 1 darkness. We get another time unit on here. And Necromancer rolls. He gets a 4, so he can see 3 or lower, which is nobody. So he stays where he is and spawns a 4th blight there. 1 more, and it will be spawned in the monastery. And in the ruins, it's a decay blight, which is a bad one. It means we cannot use any items that we might find. Okay. So the Exorcist, I think, actually can't attack the tribute using his special ability. So I think I need to get the Enchanter over there too. So first I'm going to do the Exorcist though. Hopefully he gets a 5. Hey, look at that. So I can roll additional die this turn, which I think I will do. So he's going to roll +1 die on all rolls this turn. His event is Shambling Horror compared to his secrecy. He has 4 to 5, so it's a 6 or a 4. He's going to try to elude with 2 dice because he gets +1, and he fails. So he must lose his secrecy because his secrecy is higher than his grace. Then he is going to attempt to fight the tribute. He gets to roll +1 die on that. And hopefully he succeeds. Ah, no, he does not succeed. So he loses 1 grace for that. Hold on a second. He had a 4, I think. He lost 1. So he shouldn't have lost a secrecy for attacking the tribute because it's not a blight. So he doesn't have to lose the secrecy for attacking it. And now he has to fight the vampire. So he will try to elude the vampire, and he succeeds. Now that was not good, though. It was not a very good turn. He should have attacked the vampire instead. Now we have the Tinker. He's going to try and kill those spies again. Watchers, compared to darkness. 0 through 9, look out. So he's going to try to elude. With 1 die, he needs a 4. And he fails, so he loses 1 secrecy. He's then going to lose 1 secrecy to attack that blight. He gets 2 dice. He needs a 5 or better on one of them. Oh my god! Oh, we're not having good luck this turn. So he loses another secrecy. He loses a secrecy for being in the same location with the spies. And his turn is done. I mean, I should have used the Darkening Gadget. I'll use that next turn. The Scout. Let's have her event. Let's see. Count the blights in your location. 2. It's a lick. So she can elude with 2 dice. She's going to do that. And she succeeds. That's good. And then, what's she going to do? Oh, she could hide again and get his secrecy back up. What is she gonna do? Somebody needs to get down there and deal with the Decay Blight, but I don't think it's gonna be her. Alright, she's gonna just do the search, I think. So she's gonna search with +1 die. Hopefully get a success. She needs 3 or better. And she gets 1 success. So in the village, she gets a treasure chest which she cannot use yet. That was her turn. She loses 1 secrecy for the spies. And then we have the Enchanter. And the Enchanter is going to move over and try and deal with the tribute as well. So gains 1 secrecy for moving, then loses 1 secrecy instead of a grace for entering the location, then must deal with a vampire. And it's a 4 or 4. She's going to roll either one. And she succeeds. Alright, nice job. And then we have darkness increases. We have another time token here, so that's 3 out of 5. You know what? The Necromancer rolled a 4 on the last move. Pretty sure he rolled a 4, so we get another quest in that location. And it now gets a time token on it as well. It's a massive horde of zombies. Get a supply cache for completing it. That's good. We need 3 successes within the next 5 rounds. Which is not good, because first we need to get over there, and there's a bunch of bad stuff there anyway. But it's all elude action, so that's pretty good. The Scout could actually go down there and do that. Okay. And the Necromancer's going to roll. He rolls a 3. So does he spawn... Where does he spawn the new quest? In his location before he moves. So he's spawning another quest here in the ruins. It is a ghoul infestation. The ghouls have grown so numerous that they are starting to attack the living for food, cull their numbers to keep the people safe. Bad stuff. And he's moving up into the village, and he's going to spawn a blight, which is wraiths. Some bad stuff here. Oh man. Yeah, this is not good. Ah, jeez. I should not have played with that Pall of Suffering. It's not very easy, is it? I'm not really sure what to do. And none of my people are really great at doing anything yet, and I need to get rid of that Decay Blight. This is not going well. Okay. I do not have high hopes about winning this game. Just judging by how things are going right now, I think I'm going to be very lucky to even take care of the immediate dangers, because I have here I have this Decay Blight I need to take care of, plus there are 3 additional blights in that area, plus 2 quests, and nobody is able to get any additional powers as long as that Decay Blight is there, and nobody has really any that good fighting powers, so things are not looking good. But I guess maybe it'll work out. So I think my plan is I don't want any more blights to spawn down here in the ruins. So I think I want the Tinker, who has currently the lowest secrecy, to go off somewhere and try and sort of draw the Necromancer to him, while the other people take care of everything else. I think I'm going to have the Enchanter go first, because I want to take care of this Tribute Blight. Also, the Scout... The thing is, I can't use items while the Decay Blight is there. So I'll get an artifact, but I won't be able to do anything with it. So it's going to suck no matter what I do. And it is roasting here. If I seem maybe a little lethargic, it is very, very, very warm in Southern California today. So let's see. I mean, actually, my best fighter is the Tinker, but I want to use him to draw the Necromancer away, not toward. Unless I used the Scout to bring his secrecy back up again. I could do that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And then I'll have the Tinker go down here and start working on that Blight. Scout would stay where she is. The other 2 would be up there, and Necromancer would be quite likely to be drawn up here, which isn't that good either, but I don't want more blights down here, so I think I'll try that. I'll have the scout go first. So first, she loses a secrecy for the necromancer being in her location. She draws a forbidden treasure. Lose 1 grace. Roll 1 die and pick 1. Why does it say roll 1 die and pick 1? Well, in case you have an ability like the Courageous Boon that would let you roll additional dice on your turn. Wow. Draw an artifact. Alright. I'm getting a lot of artifacts this game. Pretty much never get artifacts. Starry Veil. When any hero at your location draws an event with a fate of 5 or more, they may discard it and draw another. It's very nice, although I cannot use it yet. And then I'm going to hide. So she's going to actually... that really doesn't seem that useful, actually, because her secrecy is going to be very low anyway. But, I don't know. I should get her away from where the wraiths are. So... I think I'm going to use her cross-country ability to have her move twice. Even though she's in a central location, I'll just move to 2 different locations and raise her secrecy up 2. I think... I don't know, I was going to have her... Well, you know what? I have -1 to fighting down here, so even the Tinker, he's not going to be much help. So I will have her move down here. That's going to be her turn. So increase her secrecy up, and she can start working on destroying that blight down there. And she's going to have to fight skeletons and a lich. By the way, I looked up the pronunciation. Lich is apparently the accepted pronunciation, although I was semi-correct in pronouncing it lich, because it is from German word. And both the German and the Old English pronunciation would be closer to like. For some reason, lich is the pronunciation, probably just because of like the predominance of people who pronounce it that way. It's just one of those descriptive rules rather than prescriptive. Anyway, I'm going to have to deal with those guys. So I will try to evade them both. I need a 4 and a 4, or 4 and a 5 actually. Oh, I got a 4. Let's try for a 5. Not a 5. So I will lose. It says if my grace secrecy is higher than grace, so I'm going to lose a grace then. And that is her turn. The Tinker. So I could attack the wraiths, because if he stays where he is, I guess that would be okay. Yeah, I'll do that. He's going to have to fight the necromancer too. Okay, so first he's going to lose 1 secrecy, which means he has to fight the necromancer. He's going to try to elude with a 6. And that was not a success, so he loses 1 grace. And he's going to attack those wraiths, because those wraiths are bad news. So... see, if he fails, I think he'll still be able to get back to the monastery safely. Oh, wow. Nice job. So I've defeated the wraiths. Now that's pretty good. And he can still hang out there at least another round. Let's see, I still have the Exorcist and the Enchanter. I'm going to have the Enchanter go. So she's going to draw an event. A Guarded Trove. If I win the fight, I lose 1 secrecy and draw a search result. Or if I win either one. Well, doesn't matter. she can only do one or the other. And what is this curse again? Lose. Alright, so that does not affect me. And either one. I'm going to try to elude, because if I fail that, I lose a secrecy. Although it really doesn't matter, because her secrecy is higher than her grace. So I'm just going to do either one. No success. So I'm going to lose a secrecy. And then I'm going to attack that tribute one more time. Come on, come on. Oh, wow. All right. So I succeeded. So I have succeeded at this quest. I get an artifact as my reward. Lots of artifacts this game. And it's a seeing glass. Keep the top card of every deck in the game face up. Exhaust before drawing a card to search the deck for the card of your choice, then shuffle. That is amazingly good. Wow. That is very good. Unfortunately, I can't use it until I get rid of that Decay Blight. And then she's going to have to deal with a vampire. She's going to attempt to elude the vampire. And she fails, so she loses another secrecy because that was higher. Wow, that was really nice. And then it's just the Exorcist's turn. And he gets to roll 2 dice at the start of his turn. Neither of them is a 5, so he's not going to do anything special. He is... If I get rid of that vampire, then I have many fewer things to worry about. But the vampire requires a roll of a 6. And he is only going to get to roll 1 die. I could move him back into the mountains, or I could have him search. What would be the best move? Let's have him... attacking a vampire, I would roll 2 dice. I could re-roll 1s. But if I waited until my Courageous Boon activated, I could roll 3 dice. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to attack the vampire. Did I draw an event? No, I didn't draw an event for him. Startling news. Add a time marker to a quest currently in play. Let's do the Ghoul Infestation one. And let's see, I move this down 1. And attacking the vampire, I need a 6. Oh, I don't know why I did this. This is stupid. I still have a chance to go back because I haven't rolled it yet. I have a very high chance of succeeding if I do a search. You know what? Yeah. I have a pretty low chance of rolling a 6 on 2 dice. I don't know what the chances are of that. I think last time I recorded this game, I had a lot of jibber-jabber about probabilities, but I've totally forgot. Oh, you know what? I remember what it was. It's the inverse of the odds of rolling any number other than a 6 on 2 dice. So the odds of rolling a number other than 6 on 2 dice simultaneously would be 25 out of 36. Is that right? 5 out of 6 times 5 out of 6. Yeah, so 25 out of 36. So the inverse of that would be 11/36. Is that correct? So that's actually almost 1/3. Interesting. I'm going to try to search. I'm going to search instead. we'll deal with this vampire later on. So he's going to search, roll 1 die, and it's going to be, of course, it's going to be a 2 or greater. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, that was terrible. Wow. What would have happened? Let's try rolling the fight and see what would have happened. Well, I still would have lost. In this case, at least I didn't lose anything particular. I just didn't do anything this turn. And I'm going to have to try to fight or evade it. I'm going to try to evade it. Whoa. That was not intentional. What? Where was that? Oh no. Somewhere around there. So it was a 4 or a 3. Let's say it was a 3. Yeah, it was somewhere around there. Alright. And I did not succeed, so I'm going to lose his secrecy, and his turn is over. And we have the darkness. Darkness increases. The quests in play get more time tokens. One of them stands on its head. Necromancer tries to see if he can see anybody. And he does. He sees the Tinker. Is it that he moves? I always forget this, because the gate changes the rules for it, I think. Does he move to the location of the lowest secrecy, or just a random hero of the ones that he detects? Oh, he moves to the location of the closest person he detects. That's what it was. So he's going to stay where he is. What did he roll? What did he roll? Oh dear. I'm going to have to review this footage because I've forgotten what he rolled. I don't know if I should put out a quest or not. But anyway, for now I'm going to assume I don't. And in the village, a stigma. -2 to the default grace of every character in play. Alright, everybody flips back up, and we're going to do the next round after I take a look at this footage. Okay, one thing. I was going to turn on this light. I had noticed that the last video or two that I recorded was a little dark, and I have some pretty bright lights on, but you know, this camera is mainly intended for outdoors filming, so I put a couple additional lights on, and hopefully that'll do it. And I will risk taking a look at the lights. Hopefully that doesn't mess up the exposure, what is it, like the aperture of the camera or whatever, too much. Basically, hopefully it's not now too dark to look back at the board of the game. Okay, so what was I going to do? I was going to try to kill this Decay Blight with the Scout for some reason. Why was I going to do it with the Scout? I don't know. Just because she was there, I think. So I will have her go first, and she gets a demon. It is a deadly demon. She has to roll a 4 or better, and she didn't, so she loses 1 secrecy because that's higher than her grace. She's now then going to attack this Decay Blight. She's going to lose a secrecy to attack it, and she wants a 5 or better. Come on, please. Her odds are very low, but nope. And then she's going to have to deal with the Lich and the Skeletons. So, Skeleton, she needs a 4 or better. She succeeded. The Lich, she needs a 5 or better. And she failed, so she loses 1 grace. Everybody is doing very poorly. This is just a very, very bad situation. I can't use any items until I've got this the Decay Blight killed. But nobody is good enough at fighting to roll more than 1 additional die. I guess if I use the Darkening Gadget, the Tinker could roll 2 dice. It says deactivate if you lose secrecy. But then, I don't know. Maybe he should move down there as his turn. All right, so her turn's over. Because if I activated the Darkening Gadget, see, the thing is, he's going to lose secrecy if the Necromancer moves to his location. So either the Necromancer's going back down there, I don't know, because activating this thing is probably going to gain him secrecy. The Scout at least has a way to get back to the monastery quickly. He doesn't. So if he gets down to like 0 grace, he's pretty screwed. There's a lot of things that are not good about this situation. But you know what? The Exorcist and the Enchanter can go work on other stuff. You know what? The Enchanter ought to go down to the ruins and try and get that Decay Blight, because she's the only really decent fighter that I have right now. I can use the Darkening Gadget to get 2 dice, but she can exhaust her cards to get additional dice. So I'm going to have her do that, I think. So should I give the Exorcist go first or after that? I think maybe I will have the Enchanter go first, so she's going to draw an event. Looters. Alright, so she has to try to elude. Oh no, this is the worst possible event for her. She's going to have to exhaust all her powers if she fails. Wow, so she's better succeed. Oh, wow, yay. So she gains a secrecy. And she's going to move down here to the swamp. Gains another secrecy for moving. And she's going to have to deal with the zombies and the skeletons. And she's going to try to elude the zombies. And she succeeded. And she's going to try to elude the skeletons. And she succeeded. Very nice. Has my luck turned around? Most likely not. I still do not foresee winning this game. I guess the Tinker is going to try to take care of the Stigma Blight. Yeah, he's going to have to try to fight the Necromancer again. If he fails against the Stigma Blight, he loses a grace. So he has a chance of dying. And he's the only one, actually, out of all of them who has gotten an additional power in this game. But you know what? Somebody needs to get rid of that Stigma Blight. And somebody also needs to get the Necromancer off of everybody else's trail. So I'll have the Tinker go next. He's going to have to try to elude the Necromancer. He fails. He loses 1 grace. And he is going to attack the Stigma. And he just needs a 5 or better. And he succeeds! Hooray! Very nice. And then he's done. That's his turn. And the Exorcist. So the Exorcist is still up there. Let's see if his Courageous Boon happens this time. No. In fact, he rolled 2 1s. Very nice. Okay, so he's going to... I think he's just going to try to search again. First, he's got to draw an event. Oh no! +1 to the darkness track. Oh no! And then he's going to attempt to search again, and hopefully, what I'm hoping for is that I know up in the castle there are these cache search results fairly often. And the caches, they're not items, so they're not affected by the Decay Blight. I just get additional powers immediately. So that's what I'm hoping for. Searching, and it succeeded. And I got a treasure chest, so not as good. And he's going to have to deal with the vampire, so he needs to roll a 4 or better. He fails, so he loses a grace. And is that everybody? I think that's everybody. So darkness increases again. We are going to see what happens. Oh, we get more time on each of these quests, and we're going to see what happens with the Necromancer. He rolled a 6, so he can see everybody. He's going to stay where he is and spawn in the village shades. Throw in some shade. All right, that's not bad though. And then that's everybody. All right, so there's a bad thing. I basically have 2 rounds to deal with these 2 events. And I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to deal with either of the events. Because I don't get to roll extra fight results. And it says each success is 1. I need 2 successes on this one. I need 3 on that one. I don't get to roll extra elude results until I get rid of that decay. So the only chance that I really have is getting rid of the decay this turn. So I'm going to have to try to do that. Let's get an event. Lose 1 secrecy. Okay. And I'm going to try to attack the decay one more time. Yes, yes, yes. I succeeded. Very nice. So that means several things get to happen. First, I get to immediately use my treasure chest. And I've got escape routes. +1 die when eluding. When you hide, you may gain secrecy up to default instead of up to 5. Very nice. And I believe that the Exorcist can also immediately use his. Let me see. Item use. Let me see. I think you can use an item at any time. Let me see. Discard at any time. All right. Should have been looking at the back of the book. So Exorcist gets a power as well. Mysterious boon. Start of your turn. So this activates on a 3. So I want a lot of these boons to come out so that I have a higher chance of activating them no matter what I roll. I have a feeling that's what it would be. Okay. Alright, so that happens. In addition, I immediately get to use the Magic Mask, the Starry Veil, and the Seeing Glass, which means everybody's top card of every deck is going to be face up. When they made that card, I don't think they realized how many decks I would be dealing with. Let's see what's on the Shadow deck, because that's going to come out pretty soon. Necromancer creates an extra blight on turns where his movement roll is a 5 or 6. Oh, that's no good. Okay. So that was one of the things. And now she has to try to elude the skeletons and the lich, and she gets to elude with 1, 2 3 dice. She gets plus 3 dice because of the magic mast and escape routes. So she's going to try the skeletons first. That was obviously a success. Now the lich. That was not a success. So she loses 1 grace. She's down at 0-0. So what's going to have to happen next turn is she's going to have to head back to the starting area. The monastery. Alright. That was her turn. Yeah, I hope we really need to... I guess the Tinker just really needs to stay there where the Necromancer is and keep trying to fight blights. Who's going to go next? Let's see, what are my top things here? An inspiration. Is that a good one? I always forget between the inspiration and there's like an epiphany. Inspiration is the good one. So if I can get a search result in the swamp, that would be very good. It's a 50-50 chance, but I think I am willing to take it. No, because then I'll fail both of these. That's the problem. Yeah. I could succeed at both of these if I get the enchanter down there this turn. But then the scout is going to have to stay there that turn. And she is all juiced out. Oh dear. Okay, this is bad. Let's see. I think I might just have to take the loss on that. I think the chance of getting an epiphany or an inspiration is, I think, too good to pass up. So I'm going to go with the enchanter first. And it is Dark Scrying. Spend 1 grace or lose 2 secrecy. I will spend 1 grace, but that actually comes out of my secrecy because of the Essence of Stone. And I will search, keeping my fingers crossed. I need a 4 or better. Oh no! Oh man. Too bad. That is really too bad. So then she's going to have to deal with the zombies and the skeletons. I think she can try to elude the zombies. That should be easy. She succeeded, and then she's going to try to elude the skeletons, and she succeeded. Oh, at least that went okay. Too bad, though. That would have been really nice. Inspiration is the one where you get to draw a power card for every single hero. Alright, so she's done. What is the next one? An altar. I think I'm going to have Exorcist go next, because he might get to roll extra dice. And he's rolling 2 dice, and he activated one of his boons. Deactivate during your turn to let 1 hero at your location gain 1 secrecy. Up to 7. That's not that great, but I guess it could be useful in certain situations. And then he's going to deal with this altar. Roll 1 die and take the highest. Defiled altar. Spend 1 grace or plus 1 darkness. So he's going to spend 1 grace, which is going to come out of his secrecy. And, What's his next power card? Wow, he can ignore blights. That's pretty darn good. That's really good. And what would he get if he searched here? Oh, he would get Cursed Ashes, which is... Cursed Ashes. Ignore the... So he doesn't want to search here anyway. So he's going to move into the mountains, I think, as his turn. And start getting back to the monastery. Everybody's heading back to the monastery to heal back up. And that was his turn. And then the Tinker is going to... First, he's going to have to deal with the Necromancer. He's going to try to elude. He fails. So he is also going to head back to the monastery. And then we have the Darkness goes up. Each of these gets one additional time. They're both going to fail, I believe. And the Necromancer rolls. And he rolls a 2. He can see not the Tinker, because the Tinker is not out. He can see the Scout. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. So he's going to go to where the Scout is. That's very bad. And he's going to spawn a Blight, which in the ruins would be, this is the Nexus. Oh, this is getting worse and worse. What is the Nexus? Protect far blights. That is very, very, very bad. Alright, protect far blights. What does that mean? Blights at other locations cannot be destroyed. The Nexus must be destroyed first. Oh, this is really bad. Okay. And then the Scout might die. There's a fairly good chance the Scout's going to die. I don't think I've had a character die on me before. I think in the late game, maybe. Oh, this is really bad. Pushed it too far. Okay. Everybody flips back up. I'm going to deal with the Scout's turn first. Unless I can come up with a way for other characters to gain grace. No. So she's going to try to elude the Necromancer with 3 dice. And hopefully roll a 6 on one of them. And she didn't, so she is dead. And this barely ever happens, so I'm going to have to look up what that means. But that's pretty much the end of her turn. Oh dear. The Tinker is going to go. He's just going to pray. He gets 1 success on that. He flips his cards back up. He gets 1 additional secrecy for staying in the monastery his whole turn, and he's done. The Enchanter should probably head back to the village. No, she's actually okay where she is. What is the top map card now? So she would get an Epiphany, which is basically search your deck for the card you want. Not really that important. So I think I'm going to have her move up to the castle. Of course, if I had her search, you know what, I forgot about this part. I could exhaust the Seeing Glass to search this deck for the card of my choice. So I know there's like 2 or 3 inspirations in here. Yeah, so I could search out another inspiration card. That might be, but then I'd still be relying on, you know what, I'm going to take a look at these cards. I'm going to reshuffle them. But I wonder how many inspirations are in here. There's 1 for the swamp. There's 1 for the swamp. There's one for the swamp, pretty much only in the swamp. Alright. There are a lot of them in the swamp. So if I succeed at a search for her, I could just decide that it's an inspiration, as long as she's staying in the swamp. The problem is, then I wouldn't be able to get an extra power for the new hero that's going to come in to replace the scout, unfortunately. You know, I should look up what happens when the scout dies. Alright, so basically what happens when a hero dies, first, going to miss an additional round. So basically I lose the next round just picking a new character. Then the round after that I come back into play. I have one fewer power card to start with, and one fewer maximum grace and secrecy. So all pretty bad effects. And my 2 artifacts that are here just sort of get dropped in this location, and whoever visits there next gets them. So let's continue with the turn. I think the Enchanter was going to go. She draws the Renewal event, which means I reshuffle and draw an additional card to replace it. It is so hot here. Alright. And the actual event for her turn is a Horde, compared to her Secrecy, which is 3. So she has to face a large horde. She's going to try to elude it. She succeeded, and she is going to try to search. Please, please, please. Oh my god! Okay, so she fails again. And she's going to have to deal with the skeletons and the zombies again. So she's going to try to elude the zombie for 3. Fails. Elude the skeletons for 4. Fails. And just like that, we are doing worse again. I think I pretty much have lost this game. I don't think I'm winning this game at all. So that was her turn. And then we have the Exorcist, and he's probably going to head back to the monastery, I think. Yeah. So he rolls the 2 dice on his turn. He did get a 5, so he gets to activate the Courageous Boon. And he's going to head back to the monastery. Oh, he gets an event. Gain 1 grace. He's going to exhaust all his powers. They remain active even though they're exhausted. And he's going to move back to the monastery as his action. And then we get to deal with the a lot of bad stuff happening. So first we get the Darkness, which enters play. Then we get both of these events that fail, so they will be added to the Necromancer's Pall. In addition, we get a Zombie Blight, which can't spawn in the ruins, so it has to spawn in the monastery. There's his Pall of Suffering up there, and we get +1 to the Darkness as well, and we're pretty screwed. Pretty much screwed. And I will put this just, over here, I guess, maybe. Now, where should I put this Darkness card where I can see it? I guess I'll put it over here. And he will roll, and he rolled a 6. He can pretty much only see her, and he's going to create an extra blight. So he has created another Lich, and a Desecration. Okay. You know what, guys? I think maybe I'm going to call this one. I do not think... I mean, I don't want to be a quitter or anything, but I don't think I'm coming back from this. I think this is pretty much going to be a massacre, so I think I'm going to maybe set it back up, and we'll try again with maybe just one blight at each location, because if I'm playing with the Pall of Suffering, I think the 2 blights at each location maybe was what was making it too difficult for me. Also, maybe it was the collection of characters I had, or maybe I was just doing not very well today. But in any case, I think I'm going to do a mulligan on this game.